Hi, this is John Southurst reporting for CoinGeek Backstage at the London Blockchain Conference. We've only just kicked off, but we've already seen some fantastic presentations, and one of them was Lars-Jacob Boe of Bain Norway. So, Lars, you were talking about blockchain use in the financial sector, and I think when most people look at blockchain, Bitcoin, all that kind of thing, they're still in the past. They're still thinking about trading digital assets. Can you tell us why that's wrong, or if it's wrong?
Yeah, first of all, I think blockchain is much more than digital assets, and I think you could even take it. I think a lot of banks actually have a much more narrow definition. They talk about digital currencies. That's where it all started. And a lot of banks have a negative attitude towards it because they don't understand it. They don't want to offer it to their customers. They think it's risky.
Yeah.
Which means that when you talk to them about this, some of them are skeptical. But the fact of the matter is that blockchain is significantly broader than just the currency part. We're talking about opportunities to make your business much more efficient, both in terms of the automating processes. We believe 50% of bank cost base can be made more efficient through blockchain. Also capital, for instance. You can use less capital because blockchain reduces the amount of capital you need through elimination of intermediation and also peer-to-peer transactions. So I think blockchain is much more than a lot of bank executives seem to understand right now. However, there is a movement in the area, and I think banks are waking up. More and more are getting into this. They are experimenting. You see banks issuing stablecoins. You see banks buying applications in their processes, such as custody, where they are using blockchain as the foundation of technology. So I think there's quite a lot of movement as we speak in this area.
Yeah, stablecoins is an interesting one too, and I think part of that process is having good governance and transparency, in the rules. Are you seeing an improvement in that area, or is it still just in the experimental stage?
It's still in the experimental stage, to be honest, but we see a lot of very interesting experience. I mean, banks such as NAB in Australia, such as JP Morgan, have issued stablecoins, but it's experimentation. It's not the full base of customers yet. So I think it's really experimentation phase. It's not scaled yet, but it's created interest, and people are much more interested now in looking at these opportunities. And they've understood that this is much more than currencies, digital currencies.
Now, one of the things you mentioned in your presentation then was the need for peer-to-peer transactions. That was one of the original promises of blockchain. It's kind of fallen by the wayside until very recently. How can that be used within the financial sector to actually improve services?
Well, peer-to-peer will do many things. Peer-to-peer will make it easier to exchange value between individuals. You don't need a broker. It'll settle the trade immediately, meaning that you don't need to hold cash or capital to guarantee the trade. So it'll be more efficient. And I'm convinced that, the problem today is regulation, that we haven't really regulated this space good enough. But once that is in place, I think a more efficient solution will eventually win.
Absolutely, it will. And are you encountering any resistance at Bain or elsewhere on these ideas, or are they becoming more receptive?
No, in Bain we are moving fast. We're talking to our clients in all industries, but of course also the banking industry. And I believe also our clients are increasingly opening up here. It's also the connection to AI. AI is a big theme, and it's linked to blockchain. Blockchain means more data, means true data. Data you can trust, etc. So AI and blockchain hangs together. So we see that the interest is actually gaining ground. And it's not just banks, it's actually also companies in other industries.
Fantastic. Well, I remain very optimistic about the future. Thanks a lot, Lars, and I hope to talk to you again.
Thank you.
Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin wallet, blockchain, stablecoins, MetaNet, the evolution of money. Everybody is talking about Bitcoin today, but what exactly is it? Learn the basics from experts. Learn what Bitcoin is, how it works, and why it matters. Bitcoin 101, your ultimate guide to the fundamentals of blockchain.